Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that's loud. My name is Amber Mills. I'm president of the Northeast Shelby County Republican Club. We're happy you all are out this evening to the Lakeland Board of Commissioners Forum. We are a civic organization, a Republican civic organization for Bartlett, Arlington, and Lakeland. We do have information on the table out front if you'd like to get involved and join. We're going to start our evening tonight with prayer, and we've asked Pastor Scott Benjamin of the Refuge Church to lead us in prayer this evening.
You pray with me? God, we love you, and we know that you have great love for us. God, I'm thankful for the ability for us to live in these communities. God, I'm thankful for Lakeland, the families that are here, the values that are here, and God, the history that is here. God, I'm thankful for the work that you're actually doing here, the people you're appointing to do work here for our good. So my prayer tonight is that people will learn things. You'll bring clarity to situations tonight, to questions that people have, that where pathways may seem crooked, that you will make them straightway. So that is our hope. God, our prayer is for Lakeland to thrive. We recognize that all good gifts come from you, and so we pray that for our town, for our schools, for our leaders, for our families. We love you. We pray these in Jesus' name. Amen.
And if you would all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And a couple of quick thank yous tonight. We would like to thank Lakeland School System Superintendent Dr. Ted Howell. He has been incredible, allowing us to come in this evening to have this forum. And next, we will introduce our moderators for this evening. First, we have Frank Colvett. He is the Republican Party State Treasurer, Committeeman for District 31, and a third-generation business owner of Greenscape. And assisting him is Marty Miller, sits on the board of the Shelby County Republican Women's Club. She is a private investigator, body language expert, statement analysis expert, and the first female police officer in Memphis. So, welcome moderators, and we'll get the evening started.
Correction, I wasn't the first police officer in Memphis, it was in Virginia. And God made me mighty, but just not tall. Well, good evening and welcome to the Northeast Shelby Republican Club's candidate question and answer in Lakeland. The early voting will be, the Shelby County Election Commission is at 157 Poplar, downtown, and this is for early voting, August 28th through September 12th. It starts at 10 a.m. and ends at 4. Lakeland Elementary School, 10050 Oakseed Lane, September the 12th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Election Day is September 17th, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And if you need to go to their website, it's www.shelbyvote.com, and that'll give you all kinds of information. And I'm going to turn it over to Frank.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I have reached out to all 4 candidates, and our ground rules are as follows. There will be no audience questions. No candidate will be allowed to ask any questions of the other candidates. There will be no interrupting, no props. I've asked all of them to answer only the current question. We should have plenty of time so that candidates can offer closing remarks, and as I've shared with them, if you don't feel like you've gotten all your thoughts out or you want to clarify, save those for your closing remarks. I've also shared with them that you can, of course, call someone's votes or comments in the paper into question, but there will be no personal attacks. We have 2 guests with us who will have the yellow and the red card. Yellow means 15 seconds. I ask that you hold all your applause to the end. And last but not least, I've discussed with the candidates, there will be 2-minute opening to tell us about why they're running beyond how much they love Lakeland and what is their vision to move Lakeland forward. We drew straws, and our first candidate will be Mr. Larry Pardue. Come forward.
I want to thank the Northeast Shelby Republican Club for having this event and inviting us here and inviting all of y'all to come in and hear what the candidates have to say. I'm Larry Pardue. I moved to Lakeland 9 years ago, and my wife and I just celebrated our 43rd wedding anniversary here in Lakeland, and it's a great place to celebrate an anniversary, even if she might have wanted to go to someplace more exotic. We've got 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. My son Philip lives in Arlington. His wife Cheryl's here, and my granddaughter Haley's sitting in the audience. We've got 7 grandkids. We've got 2 in New Jersey with our daughter Nikki, and 1 in Orlando with our son Derek. As for myself, I'm an artist by trade, and I have a show up at the winery right now, the Lakeland Delta Blues Winery. If anyone wants to get out there and see it, and I certainly invite you to go and have a look at that. I've made my living and my career as a marketing person. I own and operate an advertising agency, and I've worked throughout my career with a number of the agencies, working with them on projects. And I've worked at freelance, and now I own IDEX since 1992. The thing about what I do most is I'm a creative person, and I do work. I like to do volunteer work for charities. I offer my services as a graphic designer for charities. I recently offered my services free of charge to our new Parks and Recreation Director that's just come on to our city. Told him I would help him with any event he wanted to do, and I'd be happy to help him out in that manner. I've sat on numerous boards. Oh, thank you.
2 minutes goes fast, huh?
Hello, everyone. I'm Michelle Dial, and I'm a career educator. I've spent 13 years in this school educating children, and recently I received a job in Bartlett City Schools as an assistant principal. That allowed the door to open for me to be able to pursue being active in the political arena in Lakeland without being fearful of crossing any lines or feeling that I was in a conflict of interest with any of the parents that I served. I've had many leadership opportunities during my life, and I've pursued them all with 100% effort, and I have been able to achieve many things in the field of education as a leader. I've also been a volunteer for many things in this community through the school that were not required of me as a teacher. I was the leader of several groups, the Watchdog Dads, the recycling group. I participated in many other things like campus beautification, a book drive for unfortunate children, and several other things. I've been in Lakeland since 1999, and I feel like this has become my home and is also the home of my son, and hopefully for his children and families to come. I feel ownership with the children that I've served and the families that I've served in this city, and I hope that they also choose to stay here and make this their home. It can be such a better place. We're in a great, great situation with the middle school coming out. And when it begins to be built and we see that the neighborhoods rising and the rooftops coming and the businesses flocking to come in, we are going to be so proud of what this city can become. And I want to be a leader to help that become a better place.
Hi there, thanks for having us. I'm Josh Roman, and I've been in Lakeland since 2001. My wife and I will celebrate 14 years of being married this year, and this is pretty much the only home we've ever known. So we are very excited to be a part of this community, and I've been volunteering in it for the last 10 years. And my vision for this community is that we put Lakeland first, that in everything we do, all the decisions that we make the best decisions for Lakeland. By trade, I'm an investment advisor, so if I sound a little hoarse, the last 3 days have kind of put me through the ringer. My educational background is that of an entrepreneur. I employ about 8 different families in my business, and those families make a decision every day about where they're going to live. They make a decision every day about where they'll spend their tax dollars. And so throughout having those conversations with not only my employees but my neighbors, it's really given me a sense of not just what I want in a community, but what other people want as well. And so I'm running for commissioner because I believe that I can bring that vision that puts Lakeland first and moves us forward. Thank you.
And Mr. Smith.
Forgive me if I sound a little nervous. I'm not a public speaker. I'm a problem solver. It's been my life for 18 years as a Memphis firefighter. I've served my whole entire life. Grew up in Bartlett, Shelby County. Went through the school systems there. Went on to college for a little bit. It wasn't my thing. I didn't like it. I got to realize my dream back in 1998 to become a firefighter. That's what every little fellow wants to do. Since I was 3 years old. Married to my wife, Melissa. We have a little daughter that attends Briarcrest Christian School. Proud of her. I want you to know I'm not a politician. I don't like politics. Somebody's got to get in here and get the city right. I feel like I'm the one to do it. I can't do it alone. I need y'all's help. I need y'all's help. Please help us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Okay. Ms. Dial, we'll go in order now. What do you believe are the responsibilities of being a commissioner? Or give us what you think the job description is of being a commissioner in the town of Lakeland.
I think being a commissioner means a large commitment to the citizens of Lakeland, whether they are supporters of yours or not. I believe that the job of a commissioner also entails having to make some very tough decisions when it's not a popular decision and you still need to make it for the betterment of the city. I think the job of a commissioner also entails the use of your time, and I have the time to commit to this in the evenings when it's important to be available to citizens. I believe that the job of the commissioner also entails a great deal of studying, taking the issues, having them given to you in a packet and studying. And I made a 4.0 GPA in my master's level classes, and I am committed to studying just that hard on the issues that it takes to make good decisions.
Ma'am, before you leave, let me ask you one question. Can you give me one decision that you agreed with that the current BOC had made?
I agreed with the decision to build the middle school.
That's the only one that comes to your head?
Would you like more?
If you can give me another one, that'd be good too.
I also like the decision that they made to change some zoning ordinances so that an existing neighborhood could be expanded.
Okay.
Excellent. Mr. Roman, what do you believe are the responsibilities of being a commissioner? Or give us what you think the job description is of being a commissioner.
Well, when I think about the responsibilities of being a commissioner, I definitely see former commissioners in the room. I see current commissioners, and I think about what they've brought to the community over the last 10 years that I've known them. And I've seen dedication. I've seen the ability to step out and be a leader. And I think leader is what it's all about. You want from your person that you vote in office to be somebody who's not afraid to step out front with an idea or and just take that idea forward. As far as their responsibilities are, it's about being accessible. It's about being accessible to everybody, not just being accessible to your core little group. It's about respecting the structure that we have currently in place, meaning that you're one of 5 votes. You're one of 5 votes, so you've got to find a way to get consensus if you want to get something done. So, again, I respect the structure currently of the city, and I like the idea of all 5 people having a vote and representing the whole city. Thank you.
I mean, Josh, I'd like to ask you that same question.
Sure.
Can you give me one decision that you agreed with the current BOC, with what the current BOC has made? Just
Sure.
one.
Well, this was about 2005, and it's when they were deciding on whether or not to build the new interchange. And the interchange was going to be basically free if we did it where it would last us roughly 10 to 15 years. Or we can make a significant investment and make an interchange that would be able to support a new factory outlet mall that we've been trying to revitalize. And so our city had to make an investment, and it was a big decision, required us taking on some debt. But the leaders stepped out and said, we want something that's going to last much longer than 15 years, and I agree with that decision.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Smith, same first question. What do you believe are the responsibilities of being a commissioner? And give us what you think the job description is of being a commissioner.
Responsibility number 1 is to listen to the way the people voted, to do what the people wish. When we have 60% of the people tell us one way, current administration goes the opposite way. It's not acceptable. It's got to stop. The job of a commissioner is to work with 4 other people in conjunction with the citizens to do what's best for the city as a whole.
Thank you. Follow up.
Oh, okay, here's the follow-up question, same question. Can you name one decision that the BOC made that you agreed with?
The current BOC,
Yes, sir.
to adjourn the meeting.
That's it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fair enough.
It's an honest answer. Mr. Pardo, what do you believe are the responsibilities of being a commissioner? And what do you feel is a job description of being a commissioner?
Okay, I think the job description for being a commissioner is to listen to the people that elect you. I also know that being a commissioner, every decision you make affects all the citizens of Lakeland, and you have to keep that in mind when you're up there working. You do need to work together with the other commissioners. You need to make good decisions. You don't need to micromanage the city. You need to guide the city. That's my answer.
Okay. And sir, I'm going to ask you the same question. Can you name one decision that you agreed with that the current BOC has made?
I can. Recently, they passed a decision to set term limits, and I agree with that. I think that's a good idea. I think we ought to do that nationally.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, next up, Mr. Roman, new question. As a commissioner, you will be in charge of the city's finances. What type of financial background do you have?
Well, thanks for asking. Well, basically, I'm a certified financial planner, and in my everyday life, I'm in charge of working with families and managing their everyday risk, whether it's from the risk of losing everything they have from an auto accident or outliving their money in retirement. So on a bigger scale, my MBA is from Babson College. It's a small college outside of Wellesley, Massachusetts, but it's the #1 ranked entrepreneurial college in the United States by U.S. News & World Report. And during my MBA program, I had the opportunity to look at not just from a family point of view, but also from a large, wide-scale point of view. I did internships with a couple of different companies as well as projects. And during that, the idea was not only to figure out how to run the operation on a particular budget, but how to do it in a more efficient way. So I'm really excited about the challenge that we have with running a $6.5 million budget and getting the most we possibly can out of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Follow-on question.
Which one was it?
Yes or no? Following up from an email question we got. Yes or no? Do you pay your personal bills on time?
Yes.
Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Smith, you're next. First question, you will be in charge of the city's finances. What type of financial background do you have?
The only kind of financial background I have is managing my home finances. I work for the fire department. I don't have to manage anything there except for self and other people.
All right, thank you. Follow-on question, do you pay your personal bills on time?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Pardue, you'll be in charge of the city's finances. What type of financial background do you have?
Well, I'm not an accountant. I've sat on many boards. I've sat on a national board where we handled millions of dollars in interest to the patients that we helped. We made the decisions on those funds to keep the charitable agency solvent and to serve the needs of our patients. And I've served on other boards where financing became important. I've run my business where financing is important. And that's my answer.
Okay, I have a follow-up question. This position requires a lot of your time and commitment. How much time do you foresee spending each week or by the month to this position? And how do you envision your time will be spent?
I'll spend whatever time it takes to do the job and do the job right. And if it takes a lot of time, that's fine. I'm pretty old now, and I don't have that much to do. You know.
So you don't have any other commitments that?
Hang on, one last, forget my follow-up question. Do you pay your personal bills on time?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, following through to Ms. Dial. You will be in charge of the city's finances. What type of financial background do you have?
First, when I first went to college, I was a finance major, so I had some textbook learning of finances until I changed my major to education. And then when I was working on my master's in administration and supervision, there was a school finance course that I took. In several leadership opportunities that I took advantage of, I was also hands-on with school budgets. Then I'm an assistant principal now, and we are definitely hands-on in a school budget. It's quite a task. And then again, I'm a single mother, and I have had the responsibility of taking care of my finances in my own home.
Okay, and let me ask you the same question. How much time do you think it's going to take you on an average week or an average month? And I know if you're a single mom, I was too, and it takes a lot of time for those kids.
It does, but he's older now, and that makes things a little easier with responsibilities where he is concerned. However, the time commitment, every issue has a packet prepared for you so that you have background information for the issues that are going to come before the board during the work sessions and as well as during the voting sessions. So I know that I'll be spending time studying those to make sure that I understand the issues before I go before anyone to discuss them. I want to make sure that I'm well informed. I know that there are 2 nights a month that are required, and I am certain that I will also be placed as a head of a committee or as a liaison to a committee to take on those responsibilities as well. So I know that it's going to be evening responsibilities, preparation prior to meetings to make sure that I am understanding of the issues before I make discussions or make decisions.
Okay, thank you.
Last follow-up, Ms. Dial, do you pay your personal bills on time?
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right, Mr. Roman, we go back to Marty's question. The office you are seeking requires time and commitment. How much time do you foresee?
As Ms. Dowell stated, it's about 3 nights. It's about 3 nights a month, but in reality, it's a whole lot more than that because you're electing the face of Lakeland. You've got 5 faces plus a city manager, and so there's the way our city works. There's a lot of homeowner association, and they want to hear from the city. They want to hear what's going on. They want to hear about the new plans and ideas, and of course, we need to get out there and sell those plans and ideas as well. So I think it's going to take a couple of extra nights a week as well to do that, in addition to just preparation. I tease everybody. They're like, why did it take you, 10 years to decide to run? 1, I respect the people that were in office, but 2, they talk about sewers a lot. So it took me a little while to get used to, wanting to talk about sewers and realizing the importance that they play in the city. Thanks.
And Mr. Smith, the office you're seeking requires time and commitment. How much time do you foresee spending each week and month?
I'm a lot along the lines of Larry. I'm a fireman. I work 9 to 11 days a month. Just because I'm at work doesn't mean I can't conduct other business while there. We've got plenty of time to do it. 20 days off a month. 3 meetings a month, 4 meetings a month, constant phone calls, not a problem. I'll always be available. Thank y'all.
Okay, and while you're up there, sir,
Yes, ma'am.
with the new laws in regards to annexation, there's a de-annexation bill that is very likely to pass this next session. Are you concerned that this will impact Lakeland at all?
I'm extremely concerned that it will impact Lakeland. If they pull out, we have a present 55-cent tax. What's it going to do to the rest of the homeowners?
Do you have any ideas on what you can do to try and stop this problem?
No, ma'am, you can't stop the will of the individual. If they come together as a group, they're going to go. But we can try to get them to stay, but they've already demonstrated that they're ready to go.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Pardo, same question. With new laws in regards to annexation, there's a de-annexation bill that's very likely to pass next session. Are you concerned that this could impact Lakeland?
Yes, I believe it could. There seems to be there's a big divide in our city, and a lot of people are unhappy with the way the direction is going. There could be a number of cases where this could take effect. Another question?
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pardo. Ms. Dial, same question. With new laws in regards to annexation, the de-annexation bill likely to pass, are you concerned that that will affect Lakeland?
Of course, I'm concerned about that. We would love to have anybody that was wanting to pull out from Lakeland to have the opportunity to discuss the issues that are making them even want to consider that. What are the things that they dislike about Lakeland? What are the things that they're uncomfortable with Lakeland? I think that the board needs to have, or the city management needs to have a good education program for citizens to make sure that they even understand the reasons why things are as they are. And there are ways to change those things as well. If we knew specific reasons why they were wanting to pull out, I believe that we could address them and see if there are ways that we can help them decide to stay.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Roman, same question regarding annexation and the impact on Lakeland.
I'm not worried about it. If you think about the product that we have in North Shelby County, there's no place else to go. This is the best thing that's out there as far as, look at just all the citizens, whether you're, regardless of where you're sitting or your views that you have, you're out here because you care about Lakeland. And that's the type of community that everybody wants to be a part of. So I'm not worried about de-annexation? I'm not. What I'm worried about is making sure we have the right future so that the issue is a non-issue.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Mr. Pardo, well, let's do it this way. Please raise your hand if your answer is yes. No, you remain seated, sir. If a pay raise for the mayor and alderman comes up, please raise your hand if you will vote yes. If a pay raise for the mayor and alderman comes up, please raise your hand if you will vote yes. That is
Yes or no question?
Yes or no question. Going once?
Going twice.
Going twice? Okay.
I guess that's unanimous.
That answers that question. All right, Mr. Pardue. Comparing Lakeland to Bartlett or even Arlington, how does Lakeland compete to attract new families and businesses to relocate here?
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate that question. I think we're in a lot of difficulty. We've got an extremely high property tax here. Lakeland years ago had no property tax, and people moved here for that very reason. People tend to run from taxes. I'm a conservative, I run from taxes. And I think with a high property tax rate, it's going to be difficult to entice people to come in here. We've got to be very creative. I'm a creative person. And my marketing background, I think that would help me in trying to work and entice people to come out here. Any other questions?
Not this round.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Ms. Dow, comparing Lakeland to Bartlett and Arlington, how does Lakeland compete to attract new families and businesses to locate here?
I believe that we need to prepare a package of material that shows potential residents what we have to offer. I think that we could give them something from the Chamber of Commerce, perhaps, from the city, that lets them know what we have. Besides the tax being high, I don't think that that is a problem to some people when they know that they want to live in a quality place. We're in our infancy stage here at Lakeland because we haven't had a tax. This is new for us. This gives us the benefits to have things that we haven't been able to provide for before. We have wonderful, beautiful home neighborhoods that are going to be coming up out of the ground that already exist. The roads that are leading to those neighborhoods are crumbling. We now have the money that we can address those things. We have some money where we can grow our city. I believe it's not a deterrent to moving here, but it's an asset. And we're going to have a school that is our anchor of our community.
Ma'am, let me ask you one more question. How much is the tax rate in Lakeland per 100?
$1.40.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Roman, comparing Lakeland to Bartlett or even Arlington, how does Lakeland compete to attract new families?
Well, think about the question. We're comparing ourselves to Arlington and Bartlett. So if we take a look at the taxes, I think it's a non-issue. We have to take a look at what exactly we have to offer that's different, and we have to market that in a way that people like. What do we have that's different? We have a nice rolling terrain. We have lots of trees that previous administrations have worked to protect. We have what a campus-type employer would look for. If you were thinking about some place to put a campus-type employer of highly educated people, where would you want to put them? I would put it in Lakeland, not only because of the nice rolling terrain, but also because of the intellectual capital that we have here, the people that we have here, the education that we have here. We need to outline that, we need to highlight that, and we need to market it. That's what I would do.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Smith, same question. Compare Lakeland to Arlington. How does Lakeland compete to attract new families and businesses?
About the easiest way that we could compete with anyone is to lower our effective tax rate. We have a $20 million middle school coming on board. It's awesome good, it's going to be here. We can't slow it down. It's going to happen. Get the tax rate lower. Bring the fire fee into a fire tax. We've got to get our rates down to attract businesses. We need the interchange completed. That's all being handled by TDOT presently. Lakeland is hands off on that from this point forward. Not going to be any problem with that interchange. Once we get it cleaned up, we're going to have to start working with the Chamber of Commerce to bring business in.
What kind of businesses would you like to see in Lakeland?
Anything that will provide tax revenue. We've got to get the taxes off of the citizens and get it onto the commercial properties. We have to ease the tax burden on the people living here.
Ms. Dow? What other cities would you compare the future of Lakeland to?
What first comes to mind is Franklin, Tennessee. I think that when we start talking about developing what we have in our city, we can look at well thought out, smart development. And Franklin has that. I like the types of buildings and businesses that they have, and I think that they would be a great model. Another one? before I sit down.
No, you're doing fine. Roman's next.
Roman? Same question. What other cities would you compare the future of Lakeland to?
I'd compare it to Lakeland. It's very hard to describe a place that has what we have to offer. Everywhere else that we look is already built out. We look at Franklin, and yeah, we like a lot about what they're doing. We look at Brentwood, we look at other cities, but at the end of the day, we've got to take a look at Lakeland and what we have to offer and make sure that the vision that we have for the next 5, 10, and 15 years is one that we want as a city. So rather than trying to mimic ourselves after somebody else, let's mimic ourselves after what we already know. There's been a lot of studies that have been done about what the residents want. You guys have given us lots of feedback on the boards, and it's up to us to make that vision become a reality.
Thank you. Mr. Smith? Same question.
Josh stole my thunder. We can't compare to anybody. We're Lakeland. You've driven up and down the streets before. Hills, lakes, ponds, beautiful homes, big areas, farmlands. It's wonderful. There's not anybody that we can compare to. I've heard Franklin over again. I've heard Alcoa over again. Franklin has a population of 65,000 people. Tons of revenue from businesses. We don't have that. Let's stay Lakeland.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pardue? Same question.
Well, Lakeland's never going to be a Franklin. Anyway, but Lakeland is a beautiful city, but we lack services. We lack the services that our surrounding communities have. But we do have land. We have land for growth, and the kind of growth we need out here is growth that fits our city. And that would bring more revenue in, and certainly we need revenue if we're going to do anything about the tax base.
Thank you.
Okay. First, this question goes to Mr. Roman. Are you in favor of pilot-type programs to lure new business to Lakeland?
That's a great question because it's something that we're playing around with on the Lakeland Development Corporation. As you guys know, for the last, 30 plus years, we haven't had a tax here in Lakeland. And so we haven't had a whole lot to incentivize businesses to come. So now that we do, we've created something called the Lakeland Development Corporation, which is like an industrial development board and allows us to offer incentives such as the pilots. I've seen where pilots have gotten bad press from the city of Memphis because it's given basically large corporations a tax break, and there hasn't been a whole lot of feedback on it. But I would tell you that from my personal experience, if it's something that we offered businesses to come to Lakeland, there would be strict stipulations on it. So I am in favor of offering incentives. I'm excited about possibly offering incentives to businesses that would bring jobs here because we need to be a self-sustaining community, not rely on trying to be a bedroom community, sending all of our services out, and our wages out. Let's find a way to make it to where if somebody wants to work in Lakeland and live in Lakeland, they have the ability to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Smith, same question. Are you in favor of pilot programs to lure new businesses to Lakeland?
Not so much in favor of a pilot program as a TIF. Slight differences are where we're going to have the investor invest their money in the property to where it doesn't cost the city as much. Pilots do work. Pilots are very expensive. TIFs, on the other hand, are more beneficial to the municipality issuing these types of deals for corporations coming in.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mr. Pardue, are you in favor of pilot programs to lure new business?
I think I would have to see what the pilot program was. And I'm not against them. I think Bartlett has done that in the past and have been quite successful with their industrial park area. I served on the Planning Commission in Bartlett for 13 years in the height of that growth. And when I came to Lakeland, I suggested that they do something like that. I served on the Planning Commission in Lakeland for a short period of time. And I think, like I said, we're going to have to be creative if we're going to get developers to come out here. Those are businesses. They come out here for a reason. That reason is to make a profit. And like I said, taxes is a detriment to profit. So that's my comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Dial, are you in favor of pilot programs to lure new businesses?
I also believe that the TIF program seems to be a more logical way to go when you're incentivizing for businesses, because with the increment, which the I stands for increment, tax increment, you're still getting your basic property tax. Let's say for the outlet mall, the person that's already paying the tax on that property now, the tax would then be based on the increment between what they're paying now and what they would pay then. There's also, that's also counts for Shelby County taxes, so that would also provide them an incentive, but we would still be getting the income from the property tax rate that they're already originally paying.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. This is kind of a yes or no question. Are you a friend or a member of the Concerned Citizens of Lakeland? Do you know who the Concerned Citizens of Lakeland are?
Yes, ma'am. It's a community organization of citizens in Lakeland.
Are you a member of that that group?
I'm a member of the website, but that name.
Okay. Mr. Pardue, same question? Oh, can you? Thank you.
Yes, I was affiliated with CCL, and CCL as a single issue organization back in the referendum doesn't exist anymore. What CCL now is a Facebook page, and anyone can go to the Facebook page and read what's on the Facebook page. And that's the only organization there. I don't know that we're really members of anything there.
Ms. Dow?
No, ma'am, I am not.
Mr. Roman? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Pardue, what is your position on Lakeland having a K through 12 system, and what would be your timeline for Lakeland having a K through 12 system?
Well, by 2018, we're going to have the elementary school and the middle school built by that time. I don't think we won't really have a need for a high school going out to maybe 15 years. And we have an arrangement with Arlington to go to their schools. At some point, yes, Lakeland will have a full school system. And as commissioner, when they have this new school built, I'm going to support the new school. I'll support all our schools. That's what commissioners do. And is that an answer? No.
It's your answer.
It's your answer.
That's my answer.
That is your answer. Thank you very much. Ms. Dial, same question. What is your position on Lakeland having a K through 12 system, and what are your thoughts on a timeline for having a full K through 12 system?
I think it's going to be essential for us to have a complete system to educate our K through 12 our students. I think the timeline is going to depend on triggers such as population growth and a crowded situation at the high school. I think we need to be very mindful of those things, take advantage of the agreement that we do have with Arlington to continue at the high school until we see those types of increments in population growth. It is essential that people understand that if Arlington, for any reason, decides that they will not educate our students from K through 12, and we only have a K through 5 system, and then adding the 6, 7, and 8 system, if we do not have that, we could have, the potential is that we go back to Shelby County, and we do not want to risk the fact of going back to Shelby County Schools management. We don't want to take that chance. We need to be prepared in advance for that situation to occur.
Thank you.
Mr. Roman, same question. What is your position on Lakeland having a K through 12 system, and what would be your timeline?
I am for Lakeland having the K through 12 system, mainly because we're talking about marketing a city. We're talking about marketing a city that has homes that we're asking people to pay a premium price for. And if we're asking them to pay a premium price for it, then we should give them a premium product. As far as the timeline, I support the school board 100%. So whenever they tell us that it's the best time for us to build the high school, then we'll take a look at it from an overall Board of Commissioners point of view and see if we agree with them. But from marketing the city, I don't know what else we can do that would attract the families, residents, and neighbors that we would like to have than a K through 12 system. Maybe some nice restaurants, maybe a nice factory outlet mall, maybe a nice interchange. You know, there's other things that we can do, but for the most part, K through 12 is going to be the biggest bang for our buck over a long period of time.
All right. And Mr. Smith.
I'm in support of a K through 12 system eventually, but when we need it. The middle school's coming, it'll be here 2018. We're going to have to assess what's happening with the other school systems around us, see if it's going to be feasible for our city. It's imperative that we get a new tax base in here, commercial tax base, in order to fund it. There's a lot of people that are up in arms over it, 60% that said no, 40% said yes. The folks are up in arms about it. We can't continue putting everything on the backs of the citizens. We do need the commercial growth.
Thank you.
Okay. This is a question for the group. I think I just heard that by 2018, the middle school will be ready. If there was a situation where a tax increase was necessary to fund the schools, would you, and this is just a yes/no question for everybody, would you vote yes on a tax increase?
No, sir.
Raise your hand if you're a yes. Going once. Okay. Since you all voted no, and beginning in order with Ms. Dial, what services would you cut in order to account for this heavy increase in cost? Yes, please.
The term of this seat is 4 years, and I don't believe that in 4 years we will even be discussing the possibility of having to have a high school. I believe it's a little further down the line. We will have a lot of the middle school already paid for. There will be some adjustments we could make, especially if we see the growth that we're expecting in the next 4 years with the neighborhood coming up around the school. There are 9 proposed neighborhoods that have already been approved, that we're just waiting for them to come back and be ready to break ground. We are enticing business to come here. We know for sure of a couple of restaurants and possibly even another store that we're going to be really happy to have. I think in the next 4 years, we're not going to have that. So in that term, I would vote no for another increase because I don't believe that there will be a need for it.
Well, let's clarify then. If the situation happened, let's say explosive growth, let's say you needed the school, let's say we had...
In 4 years.
Yes, ma'am, in this term. If you're not going to vote for a tax increase, what services would you cut?
We would have to back off on fixing our roads. We would have to be careful with what we are putting into our parks and rec situation. And those would be the first I would think would have to go.
Fair enough. Thank you. Mr. Roman? Same question. You voted no on a tax increase, so what do we cut?
That's a great question. And the reason why I voted no is because we're in a time of surplus right now. A lot of people don't realize it, but with our property tax increase, with the increased sales tax revenue that we have, this year we're actually going to have a surplus of over $2.5 million. In addition to that, next year, once our first payment is made on the middle school of $1.9 million projected, we'll have a surplus of roughly $700,000. So 1 penny of taxes represents about $34,000 of income to the city. So if we do the math on that, we're about 21 cents to the good right now. So, but I know there's a follow-up. If what will we cut? My answer would be, if we had explosive growth in 4 years, it would be in our best interest to raise the tax, and I would change my answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Smith, same question. You voted no on a tax increase. We have explosive growth. We need a new school. What do you cut?
Convert the 12-year capital outlay note to a 30-year bond. It's that simple. It saves 30 some odd cents.
Thank you very much. Mr. Pardue?
I think financially there are ways the city could get around raising taxes. I certainly wouldn't support a tax. As if the situation arose, that would mean we made a mistake in doing what we're doing now. And that's what one fear I have, is that are we making a mistake? We're putting the city right on the edge. And I would be more inclined to look at ways of creative financing to make up the shortfall.
Thank you, sir. Any question?
Mr. Roman? Do you plan to promote any changes in the existing taxes? And if you are, why?
That's a good question. I would keep the tax the way it is. What I would do is take a look at what we're doing with the fire fee. And for example, like I said, we were 21 cents to the good right now. If we could find a way to get the fire fee into that 21 cents, that would give all of us an effective tax break. So that's the main difference. That's the main change that I would take a look at making. As far as what else I would do is with the taxes, I would focus on the sales tax revenue increase. Again, a lot of people may not realize, but year over year, our sales tax is up almost 40%. When I said we're in a time of surplus, I didn't just mean because of property taxes. It's because people were spending more money in Lakeland. It's because of one business pretty much, and I think we can all figure that out. But over the next 6 to 8 months, we're expecting 2 more good-sized businesses. We need to be focusing on what to do with that money, freezing the budget where it is, only increasing the budget for very important ideas. But I got to finish. So I'll finish.
And let me ask you one more question. What is the sales tax in Lakeland?
Right now, we're at 9.25% roughly.
Mr. Smith, same question. Do you plan to promote any changes to the existing taxes? And if you do, why?
The 12-year capital outlay note, convert it, save the 30 cents, shift the tax burden from a fire fee to a fire tax. Saves everybody roughly $150 a year, right off the bat. At the end of the year, it's deductible on your taxes. I know I'd like to save $150 a year just by doing that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Perdue?
Repeat that question for me.
Sorry. Do you plan to promote any changes to the existing taxes? And if you do, why?
Well, I would promote lowering the taxes, but that's just what I do. And as far as any new taxes, no. I think we're taxed out at the point. We could convert the fire fee over to our taxes, which a lot of people don't take in consideration when they're figuring their Lakeland property tax, that the fire fee is a tax. It's just on our utility bill, because we had no tax before we instituted a property tax in Lakeland. There was no tax. In order to collect a fire fee, they had to put it on a utility bill, and it's still there. Most municipalities pay for that in their property tax, and it is deductible through your property tax. It's not deductible on your utility bill.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Ms. Dow? Same question. Do you plan to promote any changes to the existing taxes? And if you do, why?
Not to the property tax, other than if we do decide to convert the fire fee to our property taxes, it is going to appear to the citizens that there is a tax increase. And those numbers have not been confirmed, as it's going to have to be based on the square footage of your home. Lakeland's fire rating has improved, so you might be able to get some relief there. But I do not think that we need to change the property tax. I think the sales tax would be where we would need to increase.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to ask a question, then you can go to that one. An internet question that was offered, and I think everybody, or several people were touching on it. The question is there's talk of changing the fire fee to a property tax. Are there any disadvantages to linking a new tax to the value of the property? Shouldn't a fee be paid to cover a known cost of the service provided based on home square footage versus the value of a property? So it sounds like what they're just simply asking is, are there disadvantages of linking the new tax to the value of the property, changing the fire fee to a property tax? And we will go with Mr. Smith first. Which is fortuitous, since I think you were the first to bring that question up.
This isn't going to constitute a prop, is it? Okay, good.
This is,
You're good with
I'm
it? Awesome.
prepared.
You're number
This
one
is
on the
notes.
list right here. We figured it out according to the tax assessments. What we've got, Josh currently pays $483, Michelle pays $418, $20, same thing as I do. It is based on square footage of your home. Property tax, it's 70 cents per 100 of your assessed value. Savings in dollars, if we converted it. Mr. Roman, you'd save $83. Ms. Dial, you'd save $174. I'd save $21.82. Percentage-wise, $17.42. 5 for myself. Not Larry, though. His house is a little bigger, so it's beneficial for all of Lakeland. His increase would be incremental compared to the savings.
And if you want to carry your notes up with you, that's not considered a problem. Mr. Pardue, you're next. Fortuitous. Yes, sir. There's talk of changing the fire fee to a property tax. Are there any disadvantages to linking this new tax to the value of the property?
Only to the people that don't want the citizens of Lakeland to know what their real tax rate is. We're already paying the tax. We pay it in the utility bill. There wouldn't be any further, you would come off your utility bill. You wouldn't pay it through there. You'd be paying it through your property tax. It would actually be lower, I believe, by a few dollars. And so it's an advantage to do that. Plus you get to deduct it off your income tax. Like I said, though, you're already paying that fee. It's already there. You just see it as something on your utility bill and not your tax rate. It wouldn't change any of that. It's the same money, it's just in a different place.
Ms. Dial, same question. Disadvantages of the changing the fire fee to the property tax.
The disadvantage that I see is that in this last election, the decision of the referendum, we saw that we didn't have the people come to the polls that would represent a large number of people in Lakeland. My thoughts would be, it would be disadvantage to the people who were not educated on why that was happening. How do you get the word out to the citizens that it's not a new tax per se, but that you're just washing out your fee from your light, gas, and water bill and putting it into your property tax? That would be my fear. If we say we don't want to raise taxes and we do that and it's going to appear that your taxes go up, you're going to have people that don't understand why. So if we can find a way to educate our citizens and let them know why that's happening and how it will benefit them in the long run, then I think that that would be advantageous. But otherwise, I don't believe it would be.
Thank you. And Mr. Roman.
To answer the question, the person that it would be disadvantaged to is the person that owns a property and rents it out. Because rather than the renter paying the fee, the person that owns the property would pay the fee. As far as if it's disadvantage to the property owners, I would want to do a little bit more research on that. I love the idea, I love the concept, but I don't want to see happen is somebody that's on a fixed income that may live in a smaller property that's not getting that tax benefit ends up paying a little bit more. So that's what I would like to do, is just take a little bit more research and make sure it's in the best interest of everybody.
Mr. Purdue, new question. According to Lakeland website, the 2016 budget shows a projected $8,749,370 revenue. If in fact this does come to fruition, what projects would you like to spend that money on, and what portion would you like to put away for a rainy day?
All of it.
Spend all of it or put
No,
some of it
put
away?
it away for a rainy day. We certainly can't raise the taxes anymore. And I do want to say that the turnout in the referendum was a record turnout, by the way. And so we did have a lot of Lakeland citizens come out to vote that day. And but I certainly would save as much of that money as I could, because there's always a rainy day. And we need that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Dow?
Please ask that question.
I will. 2016 budget shows a projected, speak Marty, of $8,749,370 revenue. This is for 2016. What projects would you like to spend that revenue on, and what portion would you like to place away for a rainy day?
I believe that as large of a portion as we could, we should put away for a rainy day, because we're in a situation where we have residents that are not understanding and unable to meet the 55-cent requirement. There are people that it's causing problems for in their day-to-day budgeting. I think that we need to just stick with our operational budget. It's what I do. If I have done an extra job and I have more money coming in, I put it away for a rainy day. We stay the course with what our operational budget is and keep the rest in reserves.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Roman? Oh, no, we're fine. I know sometimes I go extra question. Not this time. Thanks anyway.
I can't find your pattern.
That's the point. We
That's
don't
the
have
idea.
one.
Well, that's a great position to be in, by the way, as far as the city is concerned. As far as what I would do with that additional $700,000, I would try to pay down that middle school as fast as possible, because we've talked about a new high school. A lot of people have put out different timelines of when it may or may not be possible to have it, or when we may have to have it. Well, the more money that we can put away in reserves, that's taxes we wouldn't have to charge, or taxes we wouldn't have to assess. We could pay cash for the high school. A lot of people also don't realize that we've got almost $8 million in reserves once we add this $2.6 million to it. So those reserves already, if we had to, could almost pay for half of another $20 million budget. So if we were able to be in a time of surplus for an extended period of time, 7 to 8 years, with the increased sales tax, with the great job our city is doing in managing their budget, the great job the school system is doing in managing their budget, we could have a high school and not have to have this divide in the city. I would love to see that happen, and I vote for me, and I'll do everything I can to make it happen.
Thank you. Mr. Smith? You knew you were next, didn't you? I could tell.
Can you give me the number again?
$8,749,370.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
It's projected. That's not the actual number.
It's only projected.
Right. I always believe in saving what you can, as much as you can. Here's the problem. Sewage, North Lakeland, 30-some-odd years old, was put in under the county. They're starting to have failures up there. We're gonna have to spend money. If they stay with us, we gotta spend the money. We've got to take care of our citizens first.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, question for Ms. Dial. Fire and police are currently serving Lakeland via Shelby County. When do you foresee Lakeland needing a police, and when do you expect Lakeland needing its own firefighting force?
Well, the fire situation has already come about. Not too long ago in a meeting, a fire study was presented that gave us a lot of options, because we are currently paying Shelby County $2.2 million for our fire protection, and we could do it in-house for about half that before we decide to build another station, and then it would come out about even. We could make that decision, or we could try to work with Arlington, which is already underway as well, to become a fire district. And if we did that and we shared the cost, there would be a cost savings for everyone. Police, I've had that question when I'm knocking on doors. That question is asked of me a lot. I don't see us being able to, as a small municipality, have the types of services that Shelby County currently provides for us. We have so many excess services, SWAT team, drug team, bomb squad, that we need to keep those things available to us as long as we can.
Okay, I have another question.
You did it to
I
me.
did it to you on purpose. If you decide that you're going to have your own police and fire, are you also going to, do you think the city would be able to afford its own dispatch center as well, which is very expensive?
No,
Or would
ma'am.
you still be able to just use Shelby County and we'll just work something out with them?
I really see us needing to wait a long time before we discuss any types of police services because of the quality that we receive. We could contract with Shelby County to have more officers if we see that it's necessary, that work specifically with this area. And until we reach that point, because our crime rate is so very low, that I don't see us needing to spend money on that, and that might be something that we could keep that rainy day fund in mind for.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Roman, when do you think Lakeland is going to need a police force? And when do you think Lakeland is going to need its own firefighting force?
Again, like Michelle said, I believe we're addressing the fire situation now, and I'm excited to see the savings. I'm excited to see the collaboration between the two cities. As far as when will we need our own police force, that could be a ways down the road. But if it isn't, that's one of the reasons why we have to look at paying our debt off as soon as possible. Of that original 80 cents in taxes, the majority of that was to pay off about $5.5 million worth of projects on Beverly Rivera, New Canada Road, and the new interchange. So if those projects are paid off, we've got some money to free up to invest into a police situation. However, I believe it's a long ways off. As far as what we should do immediately from a police situation is right now the officers that are assigned to Lakeland are able to patrol outside of Lakeland. I had my house broken into about 2 years ago. It took them an hour and a half to get here. I would like to see at least one officer around the clock that can't leave Lakeland.
Thank you.
Would you like a follow-up? Follow-up?
Okay, yes, I do have a follow-up. How do you and how would you handle if there was suddenly a crime spree in Lakeland? I know you think that's fairly unlikely, but they thought that in many other places and it's happened. So how would you deal with that? Would you hire more police? Pay more money to Shelby County? How would you handle that?
That's a great question, and that's one of the things that Lakeland has that many other communities don't have, and that is very active HOAs and community watch organizations. So we could very easily make ourselves more vigilant. We could very easily, as community leaders, be able to watch our neighborhoods a little bit closer. We could get in a little bit better conversations with Shelby County to let them know where they need to be if we see something suspicious. So I would say these are things we need to do regardless whether there's a crime spree or not. But if there is a crime spree, then our city could be prepared for it and be able to address it on a very quick basis.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Smith, when do you think we're going to need a Lakeland Police Department? When do you think we're going to need a Lakeland Fire Department?
Fire department's a long way off. Just to get equipment, start up with equipment, we're looking at $750,000 for a ladder truck, $550,000 for a pumper. Auxiliary piece of equipment, brush truck, $90,000. Staffing is going to be extremely high as well. You're looking at $80,000 for a fire chief, $65,000 for an assistant chief, 50 some odd thing up in the upper 50 range to have a lieutenant. And then you're going to pay your driver and your 2 firefighters. If we're going to go ALS, we've got to even look at something different. We're going to spend tons of money in training and education with these people. Police department, let's get on that real quick. Liability, liability, liability. Tons of liability comes with the police department. Not only are they expensive to outfit with their gear, liability is a huge thing. We need multiple attorneys for both departments just to cover our liability as a city.
Thank you.
Do I have a follow-up question?
What would you do if there was suddenly a large crime spree?
Easiest thing to do is go right down the street to Shelby County and say, hey guys, we need your help. What can we do? How can we work together to alleviate the problem that we currently have in Lakeland?
And do you think that would be adequate? That would take care of it?
I think they will. You're going to have to negotiate a dollar figure.
Okay. That was my next point.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
All right.
Everything costs money.
Mr. Pardue?
That it does.
When do you foresee a Lakeland Fire Department? When do you foresee a Lakeland Police Department?
Well, I happened to be at the BOC meeting when they had the presentation for the fire department, and they gave out a pretty large figure. There was some discussion that we were paying about that much for fire protection now from Shelby County, and then it was pointed out that that was for one fire station, and Lakeland would need 3. And so it was 3 times the amount that they were talking, basically maybe a little less because they would have some carryover with the fire chief and stuff like that. But the cost was very high. And I know Arlington has a fire department. They talked about a fire district getting in a relationship with Arlington and the fire district, but I understand that would be difficult for our mayor and BOC to work with their mayor and BOC on that issue right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Follow-up? Or were you good?
Yes, maybe you could answer the crime question for me. If there was a crime spree in Lakeland, what would you do? How would you handle it?
I'd lock my doors.
Besides locking your doors.
Well, I live in a
Besides arming
gated
yourself and locking your
yeah,
doors.
I live in
what
a
would you
gated
do?
community. You know, crime goes to where the goodies are. That's nobody's immune to crime, and we've been fortunate that we haven't had a lot of crime out here. Like I think Josh was right. There's a lot of HOAs in Lakeland. I think most of the subdivisions coming up are required to have an HOA, and those HOAs generally put together a neighborhood watch program. We have one in our neighborhood, and everybody tends to. I live in a gated community. I know most of the people there. I generally know when there's a strange car around, and so I think that as long as everybody's looking out for everybody else, that's a good thing. And as we get bigger, that's probably a bigger issue.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to tell you that whenever there is a burglary, the very first place they go is the master bedroom, because that's where all the money's hidden, so on and so forth. So if that's where you keep it, you might want to move it elsewhere.
I've got to look around my master bedroom.
Okay, switching gears slightly, another internet question. This one, we'll start with Mr. Roman. Does Lakeland have enough places that sell alcohol, and would you approve stricter requirements on the sale of alcohol?
Actually, we don't have enough places to sell alcohol because we don't. So would I replace a lot of restrictions on them? For the most part, no. I mean, we have state laws, we have federal laws, we have a lot of laws on the books that are already there to make the proper usage or the responsible usage and consumption of alcohol, something that can be done in an adult manner. So I would just make sure that what laws there are out there are actually maintained or actually enforced. I think that's the bigger issue that we have, is that there's rules on the books that for some reason people believe one reason or another can just be ignored. So I would just make sure that we hold people accountable, and if we're going to sell alcohol either by the glass or bottle, however we do it in Lakeland, that it's done in a responsible manner.
Thank you. Mr. Smith? Let's go to the question. Would you approve stricter requirements for the sale of alcohol in Lakeland?
I don't know how we could get away with stricter requirements when you've got to follow state law. It's there, it's written, it's to be adhered to just like every other law. Like Josh said, if we get a liquor store in here, they're going to sell liquor, just like the one does in Arlington or in Bartlett. Wine by the glass, liquor by the glass. We don't have those kind of restaurants in Lakeland. If we get them in here, you got to hold them to the laws as well.
I think we're probably going to get the same answers. Mr. Pardue, Ms. Dial, Do either of y'all, would you either of y'all approve stricter requirements on the sale of alcohol? Or are y'all comfortable with state law as it is right now?
I think we would just need to be careful about where the liquor store would be, and I am hopeful we will be attracting enough restaurants where we could have some by-the-drink sales of alcohol, because as I'm knocking on doors, I'm finding that that people would like to have that available in Lakeland and not have to drive to Cordova to have a drink with their dinner.
Good text money. All right, thank y'all. All right, now we go to Mr. Smith. Every municipality in Shelby County has a library. Do you support Lakeland having a library, and if so, how would you fund it?
Here we go, back again to money. Funding a library, another brick and mortar building. Is it possible to utilize a portion of a school for a library? Is it possible to use an existing location somewhere in the city now? We'd have to hire a librarian and books, lots of books, accountability. It's just cost. If we could do it, yes, that'd be awesome. With the internet the way it is now, we've all got internet at home. The kids are better at it than we are. I asked the 7-year-old, how's Dad supposed to do this? Not a problem. She can fix it for us.
Mr. Perdue, same question. Every municipality in Shelby County has a library. Do you support Lakeland having a library? And if so, how would you fund it?
I don't know that Lakeland's not a large city. Our population is not as such that we can afford to have all the amenities. That's one thing that sets us back from the other municipalities around us that offer a lot more services. I don't know that I'm in favor of the library. I think that someone can go to one if they need to go to one, and Bartlett's not far away. Arlington, if they have a library, is not far away. At this point, there's no way we could afford to do it.
Thank you. Ms. Dial.
Although I have a Kindle at home, I still like turning pages. I'm an old school person when it comes to that, and I have a large collection of books, and I think children need to still have that opportunity to check out books. Adults do as well if they are not technologically able to navigate reading books online. I think that maybe many seniors would even enjoy having a library. I think with the development of the middle school and the high school down the road, I would hope that being an anchor for our city and getting our city involved with the schools, that perhaps it could be worked out with the school board and with the school administration that people could use the library, the school library, as a public library. That would save us money. It would also save having to buy extra things. And I think we could do that in a really nice way where it would benefit the community, not just the school.
All right. Winding towards the end. What types, okay, let's go with, did I ask Mr. Roman the last question? I'm sorry. I need to just wear my glasses all the
You're
time.
fine. I wouldn't say much different than Ms. Dial. It sounds like the more and more we talk about it, that the school's a great idea. It's a great way to bring the community together. It's a great way to offer services that we may not already have. And I'm just excited that when it does come on board, about the other possibilities that are open to bring our community together.
All right, okay, now we go to Mr. Perdue. What types of programs would you like to see for park and recreations? Park and recreation.
We just recently hired a Parks and Recreation director, and he spoke to us at the Lions Club recently and told us about a number of the things they were going to do. Apparently they're going to build an amphitheater at the senior citizens area and have music and concerts and that sort of thing there. He's looking at a game field for our for our youth, which would be good. That's always a good thing. And I assume that they would open the parks and or just maintain the parks we've got. And it usually, if there's a new park built, if there's, I know in Bartlett when we were building new subdivisions, sometimes the developers had to put an area aside as dedicated for parkland, and or put up a certain bond to the city to build a park somewhere. So anyway, I think parks are a relatively good thing, but you have to manage them, and they take people to manage them, and they have cost involved in that. So something you'd have to look at real close.
Thank you. Ms. Dial, same question. What type of programs would you like to see at Park and Recreation?
When my son was growing up, if we wanted to have any type of involvement with sports, we would have to go to another municipality, Arlington, Cordova, or with the church league. I would like to have those opportunities here for our children so that we can be taking part in sports events in our city. I know that there is a development that is being talked about for sports fields. And there is also something that I just saw on Nextdoor today about an adult flag football team. That sounds like a lot of fun. I think that we're really going to get our money's worth out of our new Parks and Recs guy. I think he has great creative ideas, and he's going to take this program very far. So I'm putting a lot of hope into him, and I want to support him in any way I can to help grow that program in our city.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Roman, what type of programs would you like to see for Park and Recreation? Will you be playing flag football?
I think it might turn into tackle, but yeah, I'll play. We have a good time. Let's go. As far as what I'd like to see, I mean, just to answer the question, from a selfish point of view, we've got a great golf course over there in Stonebridge. They've invested a lot of money into it. I'd like to see us have intramural golf. Growing up on a military base, that was one thing that brought a lot of people together was the intramural sports. So the flag football is a great idea, and I would take that one step further. We have a lot of kids in the community that go to other schools, private schools, go downtown, and that would be an opportunity to bring those kids together as well with a very cost-effective way to play and to play in an organized manner. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
And finally, Mr. Smith, what type of programs would you like to see for Park and Recreation?
The great thing about Robbie just getting here, we spoke to him the other night at length about this. Ball fields, ball fields, ball fields. It's going to be great right behind the IH Managerial Park. Amphitheater. Everybody's going to be able to go there. They're going to try to bring back the fishing club through the Lions Club, through their generous and gracious donations, helping all the time. The ball fields are going to be great. From what I understand, we'll have softball, baseball, and soccer fields. It's going to be awesome. It's paid for by grants. The city matched a small portion. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, y'all ready? Next question. This is my favorite question, by the way. Oh, boy. Ms. Dahl. Okay. With approximately 90% of Lakeland residents not living on the lake and being the only Shelby County municipality not having a 4th of July celebration, do you feel that Lakeland should fund a fireworks display open to the residents for Independence Day?
Absolutely. We should have a celebration for our city because we have so many people that would be interested in doing that. And for the fireworks celebration to be just specifically for the people on the lake, that excludes a lot of residents. I understand that that's a tradition and that's been going on for a long time. And in keeping with that tradition, I don't know why it couldn't be expanded to where more people could enjoy it and appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Roman, Mr. Roman, please.
Could you repeat the question?
I will. With approximately 90% of Lakeland residents not living on the lake and being the only Shelby County municipality not having a 4th of July celebration, do you feel that Lakeland should fund a fireworks display, excuse me, open to all residents for Independence Day?
Thank you for repeating the question. If we're invited, I mean, I respect the lake owners' right to have their own fireworks show. I'd like to see them open themselves up to the community and invite us, and if so, then we can have a conversation on where that funding comes from. But I don't want to sound like I would just force them to open themselves up or their lake up. It's a very beautiful place. They have a right to their property just like we have a right to ours. I would like to see them just invite us and be a part of it. And if so, I would love to enjoy the show.
Thank you. Mr. Smith? Do I need to repeat the question?
Oh, ma'am, I'm pretty good at this.
Okay.
Gardner Lake Fireworks is a private organization on a private lake owned by the citizens. The citizens put it on for the people around the lake. It's the city's responsibility. Those of us that are elected, we've got to get it going on for the city. We've got to be the ones to make it happen. Gardner Lake is financed with support from people around the lake and anybody who wants to donate. If you're friends with somebody on the lake, you'll go to their house and you'll be able to watch it with them. If you're not, there are other places you can go around the lake and watch.
As a fireman,
Yes, ma'am.
do you worry about fireworks and fires if you were to not have it like right there on the lake? Does that concern you? Just as a
It's
fireman?
going to be controlled by Shelby County Fire Department. They're mandated to have one fire inspector on scene. They'll have 2 pieces of fire equipment. If anything does get out of control, they're there to take care of that for us.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Perdue, your turn. Do you want me to repeat it?
No, I know what the question was, and I live on the lake, so I go to the fireworks every year, and it is privately paid for. Contributions pay for it, and around that. I know our homeowners association donates a considerable amount to it, and I think other homeowner associations around the lake do the same as individuals donate. And we generally have a number of people over with us that night to watch the fireworks. Unfortunately, I'm usually out of town on the 4th of July, so I miss a lot of them. And there's a lot of people on that lake that don't live out there when that goes on. And it's just something that's put together by the people that live around the lake. It's not anything that we're cutting the city out of. It's just something that they came up with that they do on that lake.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You made it. Closing comments. We have 60 seconds. In your closing remarks, beginning with Mr. Roman, I'd like to know, in your closing remarks, in 4 years, what will we look back and say was your accomplishment over the last 4 years?
4 years isn't a long time when it comes to city planning, but it's long enough to work on projects that you're passionate about. And what I'm passionate about is economic development. I'm passionate about increasing our sales tax revenue. We've got some opportunities here in Lakeland to capitalize on that. One good opportunity, if you've been to the shopping center retail group's website, they're actually actively looking for anchor stores to put into the new factory outlet mall, even though we haven't heard from the landowner. So we need to elect somebody that has a vision for what Lakeland can look like with growth and the type of growth that everybody wants to see. That's in an area that's going to be revitalized, in an area that's already outlined for commercial, not necessarily worrying about whether or not it's in somebody's backyard. So to leave you with it, I would say that in 4 years, if we look back on it, I would hope that our sales tax revenue is enough to give everybody a little bit more property tax in their pocket.
Thank you. Final follow-up question, Mr. Roman. Is there anything, did you miss anything? Do you need to clarify anything? This is your closing remark.
When you guys were talking about the alcohol, the one thing I would do different is right now we have a law that says we can have one liquor store for every 7,500 residents. I would probably take a look at moving that to 12,000 or 15,000, just because as we do have more and more residents, then we're going to want to, we're going to want to have a certain look for our city. And just like we saw a few years ago, what we have on the books can be, for lack of a better term, held against us. So if we would go ahead and make it a little stricter now, so that the person that does come in, one, knows that the large investment they're making in our community could be possibly protected, but two, we know that if somebody puts up a nice looking shopping area, that it's not going to be something that we don't want to see.
Thank you very much. Mr. Smith, In 4 years, this is it.
This is it.
You made it. In 4 years, how are we going to look back on your service? What is going to be your greatest accomplishment?
I would love for everybody to look back and say he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He listened to the people. The people spoke, he listened. They wanted lower taxes, he made it happen. They wanted debt limits, he made it happen. They wanted the fire fee transferred over to a fire tax. It happened, and Lakeland's a better place then for what was done.
All right. Are there any further comments or clarifications you wish to make from the previous questions?
I want us all to come back together, y'all. It's ridiculous we've all acted the way we have. It's ridiculous we've treated neighbors, friends, malice, hatred. I love the city. I want us all to be better. I want us to be the Lakeland we were 2.5 years ago. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Pardue, in 4 years, we'll look back. What will be your greatest accomplishment?
In 4 years, I hope that Lakeland has got by some of the troubles we've gone through these 2 campaigns we've had recently. I hope we're growing and prospering. That would be my wish. That's what I will work hard to do. And I made a few notes that I would like to go by. So these are things that I believe, and I believe our citizens want our city to heal and come together. I believe our citizens want leaders that are willing to work together for what is best for all of Lakeland. I believe our citizens want candidates and leaders that display character and high standards and not resort to personal attacks. I believe that our citizens want candidates who look after the interest of all its residents. I believe Lakeland citizens want candidates that listen. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any final comments or clarifications to previous questions you wish to address?
I think I'm fine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Dial, 4 years from now, we look back, what is your greatest accomplishment?
I want everyone to look at me and say, wow, she came out of nowhere. She's a newcomer. She's getting herself immersed into the business of a city, and that she's done a good job by making sure that she's well aware of the things that are going on, educated with decisions that have to be made, and that even if I have to make hard decisions, that I'm looking forward and looking at the entire city's benefit, for the benefit of Lakeland, even if it's something that's hard to understand as an individual, that those decisions do have to be made. I want to see us grow and flourish. I want to be an active part in having some sort of a marketing strategy to bring in new businesses. I want to see growth. I want to see some change. I want to see some new things coming around in our city that we haven't had before. And I want to see citizens getting out and enjoying all those things and know that they're here because that's what they've asked for.
Thank you. Are there any comments or clarifications to previous questions that you wish to address?
Just one about the voting numbers. We have over 8,000 registered voters in Lakeland. 8,600 is the last number that I was given. And we had less than half of that show up for the vote. And I would really like for everyone in this room to go and talk to people that are not getting out and not exercising their rights to get out and to make a decision. These are very good decisions to be making right now. We're at a critical point. We're at a turning point in this city, and we need to be working in a positive way. We don't need to be stepping backwards and going back in history. We need to move forward, and it's going to take citizens getting out and going to the polls and voting, and it might take you holding someone's hand to get them there, but that's what I would like to see.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our candidate forum. I remind everyone that in 3 days, beginning August 28th through September 12th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., you can vote the Shelby County Election Commission downtown. That's at 157 Poplar. Lakeland Elementary School, where you are right now, has early voting on September 12th, also from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And Election Day will be September 17th, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can go to shelbyvote.com for more information, but I also want to take this opportunity. Remember, you'll be voting for 2 of these 4 candidates in your election. I want to salute y'all for some very thoughtful, very, very good answers. The right mix of formal and with a little bit of humor. Well done. Round of applause.
And we're almost sorry for kind of knocking you off base there, not getting our pattern. But we did it on purpose.
We are adjourned.